Well, how do I begin? Like this game is fucking fantastic, from its story, the art direction, characters, gameplay, music. It's all so fucking good. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is fucking fantastic. You know it's good when the games make you remember characters, especially for my ass. This game not only is enjoyable through and through, it just keeps giving with content even when you think it's done. Like when I went ahead and took down the paintress, I thought I was done. I was tired. It was the middle of the night, and all of a sudden I got more shit to deal with. I was so tired. I had to turn the game off. I was like, I'm tired, bro. My brain hurts. I got my ass beat by Renoir. I like one tried the paintress because I was still in that flow. Like, goddamn. Now everything I will be talking about here will involve spoilers, so it will be talking about the gameplay, the story, and so on. So I'm just warning you right now. But let's focus on the story and sprinkle in some of that good old combat, right? So the story focuses on Gustav, who is readying himself for the next expedition that he's going on, as well as saying goodbye to his love interest in the Gommage, an event where the paintress erases everybody at a certain age. So at the beginning of the game, it was 34, and then it was lowered to 33, killing everybody who was 34. So that's fun, right, for everybody involved? Not really. But making Gustav one of the eldest men in Lumiere now. He joins the next expedition with Lune and Maëlle. Maëlle is like his little sister slash like daughter figure who he cares for very deeply. I'm not gonna go into every fucking detail of the game, like every fucking step and every fucking boss and everything. I will say all the bosses are pretty fun, pretty interesting, pretty crazy, with their own dynamics and quirks and, you know, gimmicks and whatever, right? There's one really gimmicky boss that pissed me off. It's like one of the Archons or whatever the fuck. The first one you see with like all the faces and shit. Yeah, fuck that guy. But I will say my entire experience with this game has been very much enjoyable. Like, I loved every part of the game. Nothing was super annoying in this game, besides like the super gimmicky bosses that, you know, will heal each other. Will go ahead and the one that Renoir that would go ahead and erase party members so you can't get them back at all, which pisses me off. Man, that shit was hurting my soul. But anyways, the twist in the story, the revelations being revealed and so on, right? I think they did a very good job with the story, right? They told it through dialogue, through cutscenes, through the world itself, the world building. It's just absolutely great. Like the checkpoints being mainly past expeditions flag points, showing us where they went, what happened to them. You know, it helps build that environmental storytelling, and it's fucking great. The goal of these expeditions are to get to the paintress and stop her or kill her, whatever, right? To stop the Gommage from happening again and erasing people. Simple, right? No. The paintress, you know, is in a land where it's filled with Nevrons and all sorts of dangers that's between you and the paintress, right? And reaching the shore as Expedition 33, they get absolutely massacred. It's fucking insane. Like, only a few survive. Gustav is one, and, you know, we get to meet up with Lune, and then, you know, we get to meet up with other members. Eventually, we do go ahead and meet Maëlle, and, you know, she gets saved by some spirit dude who, you know, is relevant to the plot later. He helps with upgrades and weapons and, you know, just making everything much more easier for you, right? So this is where I'm going to sort of get into like the upgrades and how they work, right? This spirit guy helps with upgrading your weapons, and the weapons have levels to them as well. And depending on the weapon, it'll have like a different sort of like effect once you get that weapon to a certain level, right? There's, I think there's level 20, level 15, and level 10 is when you can go ahead and unlock these sort of effects for each weapon. And they're different for each weapon, and it's really cool. It's really nice. He also helps add more Lumina points to each character. You can find these Lumina points out there in the world to add to each character. Every time you level up, you get like 1 Lumina point, and these points will give you the ability to passively have the effects of Pictos on your characters, depending on like your fancy, right? Like whatever you want, right? Like you can customize it as much as you want, but keep in mind, like once you go ahead and do that, you won't have like the stat buffs, right? If you go ahead and put on a Picto on your character and you want to replace it, then that stat buff is removed. But if you want to have the Lumina points go ahead and keep the actual effect, it won't add the stat buff. So be warned, be warned. You're probably wondering what the fuck Pictos are. Pictos are basically like mods for each character that you can go ahead and give them to, right? They have their own little effect. They have like stat boosts to them. Only when you have them applied to a character will the stat boost even be in effect. If it's not applied to them and you master the Picto after a few battles and you change it out or whatever, it can passively be selected through like the Lumina points with every character. Like one character can go ahead and master the actual Picto itself, and then the effect can be distributed to every other character as long as they have the Lumina points to apply to it, right? That's how that shit works. Their special effect can be applied to everyone if you have the Lumina points and add them to the character of your choosing. It's really nice. It's really neat. Like say there's a Picto where if you die, it'll go ahead and give like the other team members health, right? You can go ahead and master that, not by dying or anything, just by playing the game, and you can go ahead and master that and change that Picto out for something else, and then you can go ahead and go into your Lumina page and spend some Lumina points into that passive and have it for that character. And if you want other characters to have it, you can go ahead and do that as well. It's in this whole little Picto, master Picto, like move pool, not move pool, mod pool that you can go ahead and have for everybody else. It's really nice. It's really neat. I actually really like this whole system a lot, where it's like a shared applied mod system for everybody. As long as they master, as long as somebody masters the Picto, you can go ahead and you know, apply it to everybody else. So it's really nice. It's really nice. All right, now that I've explained the mods of the game, let's talk about the combat. Now it is turn-based combat, but hold on. They did sprinkle in some good old parrying, counterattacks, dodging, and jumping for you Souls-like lovers out there, right? You can change out your special moves that can use the AP, like, you know, the special like move points they can use, right? You can perfect dodge and parry to get more AP that way. You can even counterattack after parrying all the enemies' attack on their turn. You can attack them that way. You can jump on certain attacks and counter them that way. It's pretty fucking great. You can use AP to shoot the enemy's weak points and not even use your turn, which is fucking cool. With Pictos, you can go ahead and be granted more ways to gain more AP and survive in combat. Later on, they show you gradient attacks that can really help in battle, especially Lunes. I love the gradient counters too, because they are so fucking fun to parry and counter with. Oh yeah, as well as the gradient attacks does not use your turn up, right? So you can use a gradient attack like once or twice, I'm pretty sure, and then you can just go ahead and you know, attack normally, right? Or, you know, you can skip your turn, or you can just go ahead and use your special abilities, whatever the fuck, right? It's actually really nice. Honestly, every battle, whether a little under leveled or over, you're still having fun. I think the combat is actually fucking great and gets better as the game plays out. What makes it better is the great bosses and enemies stressing you out. Like the harder the enemy, the more interesting the combat encounter is, because you don't know what the fuck they're going on, what the fuck's going on with them. Like, it's crazy. Like, there's people that will charm you, motherfuckers that will erase you, and just, you know, just some of the gimmicks just make it so irritating to fight them, but it's so satisfying to get over them on their bullshit. It's fucking fantastic. Now, with all the logistics and combat out of the way, if I don't, you know, steer myself away, I'm going to be talking all fucking day about the combat. And you know, my software can't handle that. But after you do go ahead and get Mael, the story does pick up more. Like, the journey to the painters has you pick up CL, another member of your expedition, and you befriend Obscur, a being that can help help you to traverse the land and reach the painters, right? Keep in mind, spoilers again, after a boss battle, the old man that came and wiped out your expedition shows up and kills my boy Gustav. Not gonna lie, this made me pretty upset. Not only did I have a good flow going with you know, his busted ass arm ability, I actually really liked Gustav, And, you know, I put in a lot of work in that motherfucker, point wise, and putting a whole bunch of shit in him. Just bullshit. I was so upset. We then get help, right, by this guy named Verso, who replaces him. This guy goes ahead and helps Mael in the group, and, you know, some mysterious stuff happens and is revealed, but we can't make much sense of it because, you know, spoilers, Verso is this man's son, and you know, the girl is his sister, but they're not really real. They're just painted versions of the original versions. It's crazy. It's crazy. Verso, Mael, CL, and Lune on top of Obscur do what they can to get to the Paintress. They do go ahead and bury Gustave. You fight the old man, Lumiere. Oh wait, I can't forget. You do go ahead and get another party member named Monaco. Cool guy. Battle hungry, little bit of a coward. He's pretty much real. He's like sitting here like, oh, that's crazy. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, you do go ahead and fight the old man at Lumiere at the front of the mansion. They fight big ass Archon monsters. The one with the emotions is a fucking asshole. Again, like, I'm gonna say this again. The one with the emotions is a fucking asshole. I kind of knew that one was going to be a gimmick fight. Just by how it felt, right? Oh, you can go down these paths. I don't fucking care. But, you know, my stubborn ass, I was like sitting there like, all right, cool. Let me just go fight him and see what's up. And then all these faces giving him health, cursing my peoples, and not being able to get AP, and just making life fucking worse for me. I was like, nah, I gotta get rid of these motherfuckers. I got to. They're like, this shit's fucking annoying. But eventually you do confront the Paintress, but the big ass thing that the group thought was the Paintress wasn't her, and they find themselves in this realm that is a mix of all the places we went through to get there, right? Eventually, when you do get close to her, you get confronted by the old man, Renoir. Fuck this guy. Let me tell you this, like, he is the only son of a bitch in this game that just deletes your party and can't do fucking shit about it. It's annoying. Like, it hurts my soul because anytime he does it, I just have to restart. I just have to. Fuck Renoir. But anyways, after I beat his ass, we fight the real Paintress, and honestly, the fight with Renoir is harder than her, but it was good. It was great. It was visually appealing. It was great to see. Honestly, it got sad after a point because at some point, like, I think like the third phase, she just stopped fighting and we just went ahead and took her down. It was crazy, right? Especially after everything we know now. After I know now, after beating the game. But after defeating her and coming back to Lumiere, everyone is celebrating, everybody's having a good time, and everyone starts getting hit with the Gamache, which you know, is crazy. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And we look at everything through Miles' eyes, and it is revealed that the world we are in is actually just a painting. It is a canvas created by the original Verso, who has died, and her parents and his parents is in the painting itself, trying to go ahead and deal with each other, right? Like, the mother is the Paintress, right? And she is grieving and wants to be close to her son, created this fake family and everything. And because, you know, she's grieving, right? She's in this world that has the last sliver of his soul in. And the father is trying to get her out of it, but, you know, because of her advantage, it's really hard for him to make a genuine impact besides erasing. Like, he is the one, from my understanding, he is the one erasing people in the world, right? To sort of like eliminate as much as possible to sort of like get his wife out of there, right? And his wife, the Paintress, is warning everybody by writing down the ages of everybody going ahead and is about to die. And when she changes it, that's when, you know, they have to, like, you know, say their goodbyes, right? You know, that's when the Gamache happens. So it's pretty fucking insane, I'm not gonna lie, and it's really fucking interesting. Mael is actually the Paintress's daughter, Alicia, who entered the world to try and kick out both parents and, you know, try to make peace with everything, right? But Mael remembers who she is after forgetting everything because she couldn't really do anything, right? When she got in, she basically got molded into a baby and, you know, was born, you know, to some parents on Lumiere. And Yeah, she became Mael, right? And but she remembers who she is, right? You know, she remembers who she is, like the real Alicia, who then talks with her father, who is trying to erase the whole canvas, the last link to the real Verso, and Alicia doesn't want that, right? So she takes some of the chroma from him. Pretty sure it's chroma, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, and brings back CL and Luna, who got gommaged. And this is where they go ahead and explore the entirety of the Paintress's lands to every expeditioner's body to take the chroma from their bodies to paint them into the warriors to fight her dad. Which is cool, as you're running around, you see like her warriors going ahead and fighting back against, her dad's creations. Not gonna last long, not that powerful, but still works, right? After fighting your way to Renoir, you fight two aberrations and you fight this big old creation dog thing, and then yeah, that fight was annoying, right? But after going ahead and leveling up, you go ahead and fight Renoir, which I don't know if I was under leveled or not. I was level 50, but I always like to play everything smart and make sure my characters are good. But after you beat Renoir, the first phase, the Paintress comes back and takes Renoir, and he takes his fucking help away because he got healed from one of the Archons, the one that's really fucking annoying, by the way. I think it was the Charm one. But yeah, it was after that. I was like sitting there like, I got my flow on. I'm beating his ass tonight. And after you defeat him, after you do, he basically says he will begrudgingly trust Alicia not to be too obsessed with this world and everything and so on, right? We then access the world where the last sliver of Verso's soul is at, right? The fake Verso we play goes in and tries to stop him from painting, because if this remnant of Verso stops, the world will cease to exist. But Alicia stops him, and you can have the choice to either side with Alicia or Verso. And this made me panic because I'm like, what the fuck? But in this playthrough, I picked Alicia because how bad could it be, right? Man, I honestly wish I picked Verso's ending instead. Like, I liked that one better. With Alicia, she takes over the canvas and she brings everyone back to life. Gustave, his girlfriend, everybody, right? And she has fake Verso be the pianist original Verso wants to be. And when he doesn't want to play, she basically threatens him by, having the whole Paintress face thing going on to threaten him to play. Not gonna lie, I didn't fuck with that. But with Verso's ending, he tells Alicia everything's going to be okay and that everything will be fine before she gets kicked out of the canvas. And Verso then hugs Monaco and Esquier, which is, really fucking sad, before they disappear. CL walks up and disappears herself. But Luna stays on the other side of the portal. I can't speak. On the other side of the portal, and sees Verso take the remnant of the real Verso away from the heart of the canvas, I guess, and disappears, making the whole canvas disappear. The last scene of Verso's ending here is the whole family crowding the real Verso's grave and putting flowers on it, and then we see the whole crew at the grave as well, waving goodbye before disappearing. What a lovely, bittersweet ending, right? Like, the family finally got its closure somehow, or like they're on the path to it, to healing. And I like this ending much more than Alicia's ending. Overall, just absolutely fucking baller story and everything that was revealed and how it was revealed, just fucking great, just fucking phenomenal. I loved it, the story. I loved the events that followed. I loved the lore to it. I loved the world, everything. Just absolutely fucking great. I also did love how they had this underlying plot where there's this kind of like battle, war, or whatever going on between the painters and the writers going to, battle or whatever, right? I thought that was interesting, but we know that this war is what caused Verso's death, the real one, and the fire from this burned Alicia's face off. So yeah, I guess it's fucking serious, I guess, right? There is just so much lore and everything that was just so good to experience. Like, it took me a while to just digest everything. The characters are really great, memorable, definitely a 10 out of 10 game for me. The best thing for me, I mean, you guys know I'm a fucking sucker for music. I love the music in this game, the boss music, just the overall music in general, just fucking amazing. Just fucking symphony in my ears. Like, I know a lot of people may not be turned on by turn-based combat. Like, I'm getting on another fucking tangent, right? I was on music, now I'm on combat. But the combat, like, there is so much to it. It feels like a fast-paced turn-based game, and it can really feel like that, especially when you get into the flow of it. So yeah, these are my thoughts on Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Do I think that there will be a sequel? No. Maybe a game in the same overworld where there's the painters and writers, like, you know, are battling each other, or whatever the fuck is going on. Maybe the family we see grieving over Verso is trying to fight back against the writers, and then they get involved in their worlds in that they're writing, or whatever the fuck. I don't know, but I highly doubt that. I don't think that would be great. Maybe it can be like an anthology sort of thing where it's in the same world. Maybe the family that was focused on in this game is like mentioned here and there. But, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to a game in the same overworld where there's these painters versus the writers, and, you know, there's some sort of a plot going on that involves like another story that we get into, right? I think that would be really fucking interesting. But yeah, this is the end of the video. If I keep fucking talking about this game, I'm gonna be talking about it forever, right? But I do hope you guys enjoy my review of Expedition 33. I highly recommend this damn game. It's fucking great. I played it on my Xbox Series S on Game Pass. Play the game. It's fucking sick. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, healthy, emotionally and physically. I can't speak. I just fucked up my entire line. Stay safe and healthy mentally. I can't speak again. I'm fucking this up. Stay safe, healthy, emotionally and physically and mentally. I'm pretty sure I said mentally. And thank you for the support. See you guys next time. Peace.